That certainly is a solemn question. Shall you, shall I? I wonder if we meditate sometime on what it's all going to be when it's over. Are we going to walk the golden streets? Are we going to have that eternal bliss in heaven? Or is it going to be on the other side? What a solemn question. What a solemn ending there is to this life. A few short years here, spent here, but how they're spent is going to determine a lot. Shall you, shall I? I'd like us to turn to the 1 Corinthians, 3rd chapter, starting with the 8th verse. Now he that planteth and he that watereth are one, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. For we are laborers together with God. Ye are God's husbandry. Ye are God's building. According to the grace of God which is given unto me, as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereon. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereon. For the foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now if any man build upon this foundation, gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire. And the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. If any man's work abide, which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss. But he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. We're all building. We're all building. And it's for eternity. It's for eternity. You might think, well, I'm going to have some fun in life, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. It's all going to count for eternity. One way or another, it's all building for eternity. Everything we do. We might think I'm doing it for myself. It's nobody else's business, but it's building for eternity. Paul says there's one foundation laid, and that's Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. And if any man builds on Jesus Christ, he's going to go to heaven. He's going to be saved. He's going to make the go if he builds on Jesus Christ. Not everybody's doing that. Not everyone's doing that. There are a lot of people that are not building on Jesus Christ at all. They won't have anything to do with him, and of course they're not going to heaven. But Paul's setting forth something here, I believe, that every one of us as Christians ought to know. We're all building. And if we're Christians, we're building on Jesus Christ. But some were building of gold and silver and precious stones, and others were building of wood and hay and stubble. I believe a person can rear a very good-looking building out of wood. I think we can just look at our own building here. It's built primarily out of wood, and it's a beautiful building. But how much fire will it stand? How much fire will it stand? We all know what had happened. If a good fire got started in here, it wouldn't take long, would it? It'd be gone. Then all the labor, however consecrated or however dedicated it was to rear this building, would be all lost. It's consumed. It's ashes. There's nothing left of it. Well, Paul likens this very thing unto Christians. Some are building of combustible material. Some are building of things that are going to be burned up. Every man's work is going to be tried, and it's going to be tried by fire. Our building code in Portland has set aside certain areas in our city which certain materials must be used in building. In the downtown area, buildings reared nowadays down there have to be built of fireproof material. There's no substitution. There's no way out of it. It has to be done. It's in a fire zone, they call it. And it has to be built of fireproof material because of the location and because of the possibilities of fire and of causing a great damage and a great loss of life in a congested area. It's only sensible, isn't it? It's only wise. But Christians who know that all their work is going to be tried by fire should be just as wise, shouldn't they? Should be just as wise. They should build of material that will stand the fire. Some of these Christians built of gold and silver and precious stones. Now we know that you can put gold in the fire and you can just heat it ever so hot, but it's still gold. And the only difference is that it just becomes a little purer. Just a little purer. The dross, the impurities burn out. And the gold becomes pure. Some of these Christians, Paul says, that are building on Jesus Christ are building of gold and silver and precious stones. But some are building of wood and hay and stubble. Well, I've heard it said that the ones that were building of wood, hay, and stubble were sinning Christians. Well, I don't think they were building at all. Not on Jesus Christ. They're not building sin on top of Jesus Christ. Not at all. I believe they were just as much Christians as the others. But they were doing the wrong thing. Remember here it says, every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. He shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. What was his labor for? Some were laboring for things that can be burned up. Some were laboring for things that couldn't be burned up. Some had something in view, and they were laboring for that was going to endure. Over in 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, Paul brings that out a little clearer. In the 16th verse, he says, for which cause we faint not. But though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. While we look not at the things which are seen, but the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Paul says we're not looking at the things that are seen because they're temporal. They're going to be burned up. You can look around about you, and everything you can see with your natural eye is going to be burned up. It's all going to be burned up. You might think it's ever so enduring. You might think it's ever so important to your life, but it's going to be consumed. But Paul says we look not at these things. We don't pay much attention to them. They're necessary. They're all right. But keep them in their place. But we're looking at the things that are not seen. Not seen with the natural eye. We're looking at the things that are not seen. You know, some Christians are more interested in the things that are seen. But they're going to be burned up. They're going to be burned up. There are some Christians that are laboring for things that they can see. But they're going to be burned up. Do you think when we go to heaven we're going to take a fine home up with us? Not at all. We're going to stay down here and become ashes. But look at the Christian that's looking at the things that are not seen. Look at the Christian that's laboring for the eternal things. The things that are seen are temporal, but the things that are not seen are eternal. What are the eternal things? What are the things unseen? It's spiritual things. It's a spiritual labor. It's a battle for the Lord. It's a work for Him that they're interested in. It's a work for Him that they're busily doing. There's nothing to show for it in this life. There's nothing to look to. They don't have anything as far as this world is concerned. But oh, look on the other side. Look on the other side. If we could just see on the other side. Shall you? Shall I? Shall we walk the golden street? Shall we have a mansion over there that fire can't touch? Shall we have a reward over there that fire can't consume? Shall you? Shall I? The Lord's laid this upon my heart of late. I think it's very important, especially to the young people. Very important. We make some mighty big decisions while we're young. The Lord calls us to make some mighty big decisions. It's up to us to decide our vocation. It's up to us to decide our education. It's our calling in life. It's our marriage situation and all of these different problems that we have to face when we're very young. But oh, if we could just weigh them and lay them before the Lord and ask the Lord to have His way in it and tell Him that you want to labor for things that are eternal, that you want your life to be used in the things that are going to endure. You may not have much to show in this world, and it may not always be easy. I couldn't help but think, as we were studying about Moses in our Sunday school lesson, the Lord called Moses to a tremendous task. And it wasn't a task that there were any thanks or appreciation that was going to be shown in it. It wasn't a task that was going to be easy. And so he went down there to Egypt to set those people free, those slaves. From the outward, it might seem like, well, this is wonderful. This is wonderful. I'll be a great hero. I'll go down there and I'll just become a great man in front of all these people. But it didn't work that way, did it? It didn't work that way. The very first thing that happened, Pharaoh put a greater burden upon those people. Then those people went before Pharaoh, and they didn't have any success, and they turned against Moses. Turned against him. It didn't work just that way. And you know, when you're building for God and you're laboring for Him, it's not always going to go easy. And it's not always going to go with wonderful success. And it's not always going to go smooth. It might go just as rough as it did with Moses. But just look at the end. Just look at the end. Moses, after all his years of faithfulness, the Lord just took him. His strength hadn't abated. His eyesight hadn't disappeared. He wasn't crippled. He didn't die of a long, lingering illness. He had all his strength. The Lord says the time is up. He just went up and just took him. Isn't that wonderful? And not only that, He took him to heaven. He took him to heaven. And a few years later, a few hundred years later, we see Moses again on the Mount of Transfiguration with Jesus. With Jesus. Shall we walk those golden streets? Shall we have a building over there? Shall we have a mansion in the sky? Don't think we're just going to drift along and go to a mansion. Don't think we're just going to have the things we like around about us. And our will's going to be first, and our things first, even though we have all our experiences and have all these things that the Lord requires, and then we're going to usher right into a mansion. It's going to depend on whether it'll stand the fire. Will it stand the fire? Will it stand the fire? What's it built of? What kind of material are you building of? Oh, young people, build for the Lord. Build for eternity. Build for the things that are on the other side. Give your whole heart and life to God, and your time and your service and your ambition and your plans, and lay them at the feet of Jesus. Let Him make the decision for you. Will it pay? Will it pay? I can remember one day when we were called into the office of a high school here in town, my brother and I, and we were questioned why we hadn't applied for a college scholarship. And that man gave us quite a lecture on how everything in life consisted of getting a good education and getting a good start while we were young, and that the opportunity was before us, and we were qualified to receive one of these scholarships if we would but fill in the application blank. But we had refused to fill it in because we felt like we weren't going, and we wouldn't deprive someone else of getting that scholarship. The reason we felt like we wouldn't go was because of the responsibilities we had here in Portland. Just young, but we had responsibility in the work of the Lord, and we felt like that was first. And if the other could be arranged, all right, but it just seemed like it couldn't be arranged, we laid it aside. The Lord calls us to make tremendous decisions sometimes. But you know, the Lord will honor the decision you make if you lay it before Him and let Him have His way. It might not always turn out the way we have it planned. It may not always work the best, but the Lord will honor you for the step, and the Lord will give you the grace. And I believe, on top of it all, the Lord has a better school than any college in this world. If we can just learn. We can just do His will. We can just lay ourselves at His feet. I just tell you that because I believe, as I've felt of late more and more, especially since I've been teaching a young class in Sunday school, that we make some mighty big decisions while we're young. We make some mighty big decisions. But let's just lay them on the Lord. And let's just value the things that are spiritual, the things that are not seen. Oh, how the devil would like to get our eyes on the things that are seen. How he would like to build up the things that are going to be burned up. how He'd like to get our interest in those things. We might be building on Jesus Christ, but our interest be alienated and brought over to these things. He knows that after a while He might win us clear off of Jesus Christ and have us won over to the things of this life. We can look about us today, and you can see all kinds of examples of people that are building of wood, hay, and stubble. And you can see all kinds of examples of people that are not building on Jesus Christ at all. But there are very few that are building of gold and silver and precious stones. Oh, for those that will stand in the gap. Oh, for those that will build up the hedge. For those that will count not their life dear unto themselves, but lay it at the feet of Jesus and say, Lord, Thy will be done. I believe there's a need for missionaries. I believe there's a need for ministers and workers and gospel workers and full-time workers in the gospel. I don't believe there's any surplus of it. God may be calling you. God may be calling you. Answer the call of God. Answer the call of God. Build of gold and silver and precious stones. Build of something that'll stand the test, that'll take you through. It'll pay. It'll pay in this life. It'll pay in this life. Oh, what a confidence the person has who just simply surrendered all to God. When the hard places come, and the trials come, and the battles come, and the fire comes, when you can just say, Lord, all things work together for good to them that are Thee called. It doesn't mean that one thing can cross our pathway and trip us up. It's not possible. It's absolutely impossible. If our hand's in God's hand, He says, no man can pluck thee out of my hand. And if we put our hand in His, I don't believe it matter what comes, God will take us through and turn that thing into victory. You might think it's ever so dark. You might think it's ever so hard. You might think the devil is surely on your trail then, but the Lord will turn the devil's tricks into victory every time. If your hand's in God, if you put Him first. But if you build of the things of this world, if you say, well, I'm a Christian, and I have my experiences, but it's all right for me to do this, or it's all right for me to do that, and to get this or get that, be careful. Be careful. You might be out of the will of the Lord. And it might not all work out together for good. Remember, it's all things work together for good to them that are the called according to His purpose. Those that are in His purpose. Those that are in the center of His will. All things work together for good. When we begin to get out of His will, it doesn't guarantee that it's going to work together for good. It's going to work together for our harm. But bless God, if our trust is in Him, and we've put everything in His hand, let the billows roll, let the battles come, but the Lord will take us through. The Lord will take us through. You think the Lord's going to forsake the one that's wholly trusting Him? He's the last man the Lord's going to forsake. The Lord will take him through. The Lord will turn those trials into victory, and those seemingly defeats into stepping stones to something great. Bless God. It's for us. Will we build for Jesus? Will we build for eternity? Or will we build for the things of this life? Let's answer the call of God. Anything you want from the Lord, it comes by consecration. Laying your life at the foot of the cross. Surrendering your will to God. The Lord is pleased when we do that. And He's pleased. When He's pleased, He gives us those experiences we need and we want. When He's pleased, when we bring an offering acceptable unto Him. Acceptable unto Him. It's when it's a complete surrender. The Lord help us tonight. We're going to open this altar for prayer. For everybody that wants to rededicate their life. Everybody that wants to build for eternity. Those that haven't started. Those that haven't even had the foundation laid. Jesus Christ, on which to build. The altar's open. Won't you come and pray tonight?